Imagine for a moment that every single thing tethering you to the world is suddenly gone. Your freedom, your family, your name. We do not have to guess what happens to a human mind in this scenario. This exact situation played out as a documented historical reality in the 1940s. Inside the concentration camps of World War II, prisoners were subjected to a perfectly engineered system of destruction. Starvation was calculated. Freezing temperatures were a constant weapon. Death was an ordinary, daily event among the crowded wooden bunks. Yet under these identical, unsurvivable conditions, an inexplicable anomaly emerged. A fraction of the prisoners lived, and their survival completely defied standard biological logic. Viktor Frankl occupied an agonizing position. He was a prisoner enduring the ordeal, and a psychiatrist documenting its effects in real time. He watched the guards execute a process of systemic stripping. They systematically erased the inmates' pasts, shaving their heads, dressing them in striped uniforms, and reducing them to stitched-on numbers. Through these observations, Frankl identified a terrifying pattern. The fastest, most lethal killer in the camp was rarely the cold or the lack of calories. Rather, it was a sudden, absolute collapse of the mind. When a person lost all sense of meaning, their body shut down almost immediately. The mind proved to be the ultimate arbiter of survival. Frankl began a methodical investigation into the survivors. He needed to find the specific common denominator among the men who withstood the brutality. The shared characteristic he uncovered was highly specific. Every single person who endured had their focus locked on to a clear, unresolved event in their future. For one father, it was the absolute necessity of holding his child again. For a scientist, it was a half-finished manuscript that only he could complete. They harbored a glowing, protected anchor in the darkness. By contrast, the prisoners who surrendered simply stopped believing in a tomorrow. Frankl documented that the exact moment an inmate let go of their reason to live, their immune system plummeted, and they succumbed to the elements within days. Having a future purpose acted as a literal, measurable biological shield against death. Frankl codified these observations into logotherapy, a framework built on the observation that the primary human drive is the discovery of meaning. Logotherapy posits that humans are not primarily motivated by pleasure or power, but by a will to meaning. The core rule is simple. If a person knows why they are enduring a trial, they can figure out how to bear almost any burden. This realization led Frankl to a defining conclusion about human resilience. He called it the last of the human freedoms. Captors can control every aspect of a person's physical environment. They can dictate what you wear, where you sleep, and how much you eat. But they can never penetrate the internal space where you choose your response to that suffering. The absolute core of human resilience is that untouchable choice. You maintain the freedom to decide your own attitude, regardless of external forces. Frankl survived and spent the following decades proving that the concentration camp was an accelerated laboratory for the human condition. He showed that the psychological mechanics that saved lives in the 1940s are the exact same required to navigate the complexities of today. His first rule states that suffering has meaning. We all encounter unavoidable pain, but that pain is completely wasted if we fail to assign a purpose to it. His second rule addresses the happiness paradox. Modern culture constantly pushes us to chase happiness directly. Frankl argued that directly aiming at happiness actually causes it to slip away, leaving us miserable and exhausted. True happiness and genuine success cannot be pursued. They must ensue. They manifest purely as unintended side effects when you dedicate yourself to a meaningful cause. That brings us to his final rule: find your why. When life becomes chaotic or painful, actively defining your personal purpose is the only reliable anchor available to you. We spend an enormous amount of time feeling like victims of our circumstances, looking around and asking what life is taking from us. Frankl demands a complete reversal of that mindset. Stop asking what you expect from life. Instead, ask what life is expecting from you right now. If this shift in perspective gave you something to hold on to, please like this video. Then go down to the comments and explicitly declare your anchor. Write out, My why is, and define your purpose.